We're going to take a look at the 7 configurations of weapons. The 7 configurations of weapons you see laid out in front of me are the 7 possibilities that you could come across of anything you could pick up in your hand and use. This is going to teach you how to move completely differently. Each one of these weapons has a different attribute and a different characteristic and a different range of fighting that you need to implement. So if you're just working on a knife, or if you're just working on a stick, or just working on a staff, they're only going to give you certain attributes and give you certain ranges for you to master. But in our system, what we want to show you is that the flexibility that you have by using the 7 configurations will not only prepare you to be able to pick anything up and use it as a weapon, but there's a second thing with this too. Each one of these creates an entirely different body mechanic for you. And that body mechanic is going to transfer over into your empty hands, into your movement and your ability to move freely. And then when you have one weapon going against another weapon, like have you ever sparred a single knife against a staff? Have you ever sparred a baseball bat against 2 sticks? 2 sticks against double knife? Things of that nature. So when they're at random that you're selecting in our training method, as I'll go over with you, not only will you be able to adapt to a situation that could be any situation, but your brain and your ability for your nervous system to adapt changes dramatically. So first, we're going to take a look at the very first option. And the very first option is a single-edged weapon. This single-edged weapon can be anything from a knife, from a pocket knife to a switchblade, all the way up to a beer bottle, anything that you break, a wine glass, a wine bottle, anything that you break that has an edge. Now remember, an edge weapon slices and thrusts, okay? An edge weapon slices and it thrusts. So, if I can have one edge weapon, I can have 2. That's the next configuration. 2 edge weapons, all right? So this could be 2 beer bottles, this could be 2 knives. 2 of them will make you move slightly differently. It brings out another different mechanic. From there, moving on, we have a single blunt weapon. Okay, this is anything that you hold in your hand. Then now we use a stick for training, but this could represent a pot, a pan. This could represent a tire iron. This could represent a tennis racket. Anything that you hold with one hand that you can wield, that's a blunt weapon. That's a single stick. Okay, that's going to be over here. Next configuration, we have one long and one short, and we call it spadidaga. Okay, so this is going to be your stick. And this is going to be your knife, okay? So maybe a beer bottle over here, and maybe a tire iron over here, something of that nature. So anything in which you can wield with one hand long, and the other hand is thrusting. So this is going to be thrusting and slicing, while this is going to be whipping and smashing, okay? Moving on, the next one we have over here is Sinawali, okay? Anything of 2 equal lengths, okay? This could also be Sinawali with the double dagger for you too, if it's of equal length. So over here, how would we get this? This could be 2 sticks, or this could be a pool cue that you crack over your leg, and now you have 2 of them of the same kind, and now this will give you a different movement that'll come out of that. Next, moving forward, we have what's called dos manos. Dos manos, baseball bat, maybe a samurai sword. Not many samurai swords walk around these days, but baseball bats are everywhere, okay? Or anything that requires 2 hands to wield. So that you're using 2 hands to wield this, using two hands to wield this, that's what that's going to be like. And that could also be a stick, that could also be a chair for you. A chair requires 2 hands to hold. So how do we use 2 hands to fight? That's dos manos. And finally, last but not least, is going to be something nice and long, like a staff, okay? How would we use a staff? A pool cue, okay? A broom handle, a shovel, anything that's 2 hands that you're going to be able to use. So as you can see, through these 7 categories of weapons, each one of these will bring out a different movement for you. Now, don't worry, you're not going to learn to fight differently with each one. There are some intricacies with a knife and a stick that are slightly different, but we're going to give you common concepts and principles that once you learn how to defang the snake, which I'm going to teach you, you will be able to use each one of these to apply the same strategy. You will the same strategies we applied across the 3 ranges of long, short, and in the close quarter ranges. Obviously in a staff, you're not going to be in much close quarter range. The next thing we want to take a look at is the strategy that we're going to apply. If you've got a knife, it's so simple. If you're on this end of the spectrum, you've got to come in. If you're on this end of the spectrum, you've got to stay out. That's really it at the end of the day. So if you've got a staff and your opponent has a knife, and we'll show you these things in the sparring segments of how this is going to apply, it's so easy to remember. You're going to have to keep your range. The person with a knife, if they stay out in long range, they're going to be at a disadvantage, so they have to come in. So similarly, you will learn then to see, okay, do I come in or do I go out? What's that strategy going to be? And that strategy is going to be predicated by the length of your weapon.